everybody, this is Bonnie and I'm coming to you with these little ornaments that I made. First, I want to say that I saw something like this, pretty close, almost the same, over on May Made It. I saw her idea. I didn't have some of the parts, so I kind of tweaked it with what I have in my craft room, like she says to do. So that's kind of like what I did, and I shared it on my blog post, and a lot of people wanted me to show how I made these. So I'm going to show you what I did. First thing that if you have, they sell these bulbs that come apart. I only have two here, and they're two different sizes because the other ones are there. But normally they sell bulbs that are in half. They're already only a half a bulb. That's what May used. She used the ones that were separated. Well, I didn't have them, but I had these plastic ones that you can get at the dollar store, Walmart, Joann sells them, and they're just plastic. So I had a couple of these hanging out, and I went ahead and I used this tool. I'm not even sure. It's something I've had for quilting and for fabric and stuff like that. And I'm just going to kind of put this in there. I put this tip on it. And what I did was when you see this together, I don't have one together to show you, so I'm sorry, but you could see the line right along where they molded it together. So this stuff melts through this like butter. Once you get this tool heated up, all you have to do is just run it slowly around on that seam and it pops right apart. But if you can find the ones that are already in half, then by all means, you know, use them. The only thing is that I think they only come in one size. So if you wanted the different size, like this one that I did here, I used a smaller bulb. So that's the only difference. So I just wanted to let you know, first thing you got to do is you got to have a bulb that's either already apart or you got to separate a bulb. So that's step one. So I've already done that. And these are the two that I did. I used a bigger one, but kept my same measurements. Well, when I do the one that I'm doing now, because I'm going to do another one like this, but bigger, I expanded my thing about 1 inch so that it would be a little bit bigger. Because on this one, I was able to have a nice little paper underneath it for, you know, to help glue this on. And on the other one, I didn't, because I wasn't having enough room. I would have hid my whole background stuff and everything else. So let's get started. Enough about, I prepped a lot of stuff just because this could end up being a long video. So the first thing that you need to do is you need to cut. Now for, like I said, for the bigger one that I'm going to do today, I cut 3 strips at 12 inches by 3.5. Now if you want the smaller, for smaller bulbs, then I went 2.5 inches, 12 by 2.5. And if you go smaller, then just go down. How you figure it out is you take and measure your bulb. Like this bulb was 3 inches across there. So I put this at 1.5 inches right there. And then I decided that I wanted another inch all the way around the outside of it. So that's why I cut it at 2.5 inches. So you measure your bulb, put it at the halfway mark, and then measure out 1 inch, and then that's how much you'll have around the outside of your bulb. So that's what I did for the measurements. So you're going to take this, and you're going to, after you get 3 of these cut, now I'm using regular Designer Series paper from Stampin' Up. This one was a thicker paper because I was afraid in one of the steps it was going to rip, which I'll explain to you in a little bit. But it didn't, and I was very happy with it. So I think you can use any type of paper. I wouldn't go too thin. I think our Designer Series paper is a little bit thicker, but not overly thick. So then you're going to put this in your Simply scorer, and you're going to score at every 1/2 inch. So you're going to score it a 1/2 inch, 1 inch, 1.5, 2, 2.5, all the way down the paper on all 3 of them. Now I've already gone ahead and did that just to save some time. And then we're just going to go ahead and we're just going to score this back and forth. Not worrying about, you know, lining anything up perfectly. Just keep going back and forth on it. And you're just going to take and you're just going to push this down both ways on your top like this. And it just kind of smooths everything out and lines it up. So I don't stress over that. Then the next thing you're going to do is you're going to need some type of crocodile or hole punch or whatever. And you're going to take about 3 or 4 of these pieces. You're going to slide it in, if I can. I just kind of eyeball it. They don't all have to be exact. And you're just going to punch. Let me see if I can zoom in a little bit on this. I feel like you guys, maybe that'll help, just as long as I don't forget to zoom back out. Okay. And then we're going to punch again. I'm not really, I mean, you can make it perfect, but you're not going to see this part when you're done. This is just to help you form your rosette, because this is called a rosette when you're done. And a lot of people have difficulty doing this, and they have this out on the web. Now, I have to honestly say, never seen it before until I watched May do her show, and I was like, oh my gosh, all this time I've been struggling with them. I'm like, I really need to. I was very thankful that she shared that. And now, what did I do with my, oh, here it is. And then on one end, you're going to take some score tape and you're just going to put it across. Both pieces like that. And let me zoom back out now because I don't want to forget. Oops, there went my chapstick that was holding the camera. I know, I cannot wait for Christmas. I ordered a new tripod holder. Excuse my hand. There we go. I zoom back out. Okay. But I can't get it till Christmas because it's one of my Christmas presents. So, alrighty. And then we're going to remove these little bit of and then you're going to take and you're just going to kind of, let me mix some of these ends in. And you're just going to line these 2 up together. Now, if your holes don't line up from where you punched them, just give it another repunch. It's not, and I actually might have to on this one because I got little glue in there, or adhesive from, so see, just going to give it another punch there. And we're going to do this to all 3 of them. Get it to stop sticking to me. Okay. So we got a nice little circle here. And now we've got to go ahead and we've got to close this up. And normally you would sit and you would put this down and you would fight and fight and fight with it, but I got a new trick for you. We're going to take some linen thread and we're going to take these dental floss things that you can get at the store. You're going to put your string on here like this, and you could do a couple at a time, and you're going to string this through all the way around. And you are going to just slowly start pulling on your string. And as you do, this kind of like comes down. Lay it out flat first like that. There you go. And then just slowly start pulling on it. One side, then the other. Sorry if my hand's in the way. I'm just trying to make sure that it pulls and not pulling too tight. So if you have a buddy, have them help you hold it like you're not, like you do when you're... Okay, I got way too much string here and I put the wrong side in. I'm left-handed, so everything is backwards to me right now. Okay, so pull that in, bring this around, my knot through, if I can. And see how easy this is to make a rosette now? I'm so excited. When I saw this, I was like, woohoo! No more pile of hot glue and all this stuff. I don't know why I never thought of this all the time that I've been making them, and it's just wonderful. And then you just snip that, and that just hides. And we're going to have stuff over that, so no one's ever going to see it. So how exciting is that? Other than I got a mess going on here. So, and I just used baker twine. If I didn't tell you what that was, this was some baker twine that Stampin' Up! Sells. So, let's just, I'm going to take some liquid glue here. And if I can pick up this other ornament. And I'm going to be kind of generous because we're putting this on top and you got all the ripples and stuff, so you really want it to stick nicely. I'm going to flip it over and I'm going to put one of these on the back side and give it a press down a little bit. Let's see how it wants to move around. Well, we're going to put some weight on it here in a minute. I'm going to do the same thing to this one. And you do this while you're like working on your, and then take your magnetic thing that has like a ton of stuff in it, jar, and just set it on top so it don't move, and then just slide this off to the side. And while that's doing that, you're going to be stamping and you're going to be putting all this stuff together like this that I've already pre-done. But now I'm going to pop some dimensionals on this stuff to show you what I did. And what you want to do is you want to take a circle that is about the size of your image here. And this one is not the same size. Why does it feel like it's smaller? Did I not cut the right size circle? Oh, you know what I did when I did this one? I cut the circle out. You know what? I'm going to cut another circle. Because what I did, I forgot about this. What I did was I went ahead. Let me see. Okay. I'll use this soft foamy stuff that Stampin' Up! Used to have. What I did was, because I didn't have a circle big enough for this. If you use the die cutter and cut it out where it cuts with the machine, I didn't have one big enough. But the whole thing on the outside was big enough. So what I ended up doing was I ended up putting this down, and I took a pencil and I traced it. So I ended up putting this down and I traced the outside so that I would have a big enough circle. I don't even know. I think this was a discontinued circle. But if you have a big enough circle, you just need one big enough to go from end to end, and this was 4 inches. And my biggest one to cut out, which was this, was smaller than 4 inches from where the cut line, if that's making sense. So then I'm going to cut this out, and then I would normally do all the stamping and all the stuff on it. But since I already did all the stamping, and I don't want to lose, I am just going to put this on the back of that and pop that piece up. So there, and this is that soft fuzzy stuff. And I'm just going to center this and pop this up on there. So now this will fit. Do you see what I'm saying? That'll fit in there. I was wondering what was wrong with it, why it looked all small, but I'm still going to go with it. I think it'll be fine. All right. Sometimes when you make projects so far in advance or down the road, you forget, but then there's always a way to fix it. I could have put a blue piece behind there, made it look more sky, but then the bottom would have looked white. But I think this will totally work. I'm going to be happy with it when I'm done. So here we go. We're just going to put this on here. Kind of centering it where we want it to go, like that. And then I went ahead and I popped up the tree. I just found a couple different spots to put some pop dots. These have to be smaller. Or use the minis, but I have these out here, so. And that piece just went flying. I think that, well, maybe I'll put one more. And I used the blend pens. I'll tell you the colors that I used, so that in case you want to color this like I did, I'll tell you about them in just a second here. We'll put all these pieces down first, and then, okay. I'm going to move this piece over. Whatever you do, you just want your piece to stay within your circle. If it's not within your circle, then the thing on top won't fit. So it has to stay within your circle. And then I also did the little truck with the little tree. This whole set came out of the Farmhouse Christmas that Stampin' Up! Sells. So that's what I did here. And here I'm just going to put that piece down there. And now see how this will go right over top of this. Isn't that cool? Yeah, I think it is. It's really cool. I'm going to trim this tree a little bit because it kind of bends. And no one will know. But I'm going to tell you about the markers first, or the blend pens that we used. I used all these colors. So I used, what is this one? Dark Basic Black, and that was for the tires. And I used Smoky Slate Dark, or Light, and that was for here and up in there. Then I used Crumb Cake Light and Dark, and that was for the house. And then I used Soft Suede Light and Dark, and that was for the tree and the shutters on the house. I used Real Red Light and Dark, and that was for the truck and the chimney and the door. Then I used Spruce Row, or Shaded Spruce, and that was for the tree. And I used Daffodil Light, and that was for the lights. And then I used Pool Party, and that was for the windows and the stuff that we had there. So those are the blend pens I used. And when I went ahead and I sponged all around the outside, I sponged it in Pool Party. And I just did halfway so the bottom half looked like snow. Alright, so while that's setting there and getting stuff ready, what you want to do is, I used a glue gun at this point. So I'm going to bring in my glue gun. And I'm just going to put some glue right along the edge of this. And the thing is with using the glue gun, you kind of got to work fast So if you miss some spots, it's okay. You can go back around because you really don't want to mess around waiting, especially if it's a quick drying. So I'm trying to work fast. I'm not very good at this because also I don't want to burn myself because I've done that before too. And you try to keep your cobwebs, the little cobwebs from the glue out of the way, because if you don't, like that one there will be in my photo or in my globe. And then you want to put this down and kind of, you know, see where it's got to go. You may have to go back around, and someplace like right here it's already not hot enough, so that's where I'll just come back and I'll just add a little bit more glue. And don't burn yourself because it does get hot. Or the bulb. And you could tell where it started, like right here it started too, a little bit. I just want to make sure it's good and secure, I guess. And don't worry about all this glue, we're going to hide it all. Alright, so then we have this. So that's pretty cool so far. Other than I got glue everywhere on me. Alrighty. So now it's time to bring back in the big rosette. And this is going to go right here again. Now, you can either use glue or you can use the multi-purpose adhesive. And I'm going to use this. I just think that it will adhere faster. I think it adheres better to the paper. It's your choice. But this is just what I want to do. And just going to try to center it. And this also gives me a little wiggle room. I don't have it quite centered because I didn't. Okay, and then we're just going to hold this here just for a little bit. It's multi-purpose glue is really quick drying glue, so you shouldn't have any trouble with it adhering quickly. So we're going to do this. It just helps it doesn't take very long. And now what I did was, because I didn't want all this raw edge showing, and also it'll add some like Christmassy feel to the card, was I went ahead and I took pipe cleaners and I went around my globe. And I'm not worried that it don't go all the way up because of the fact that I'm going to put a bow up there. So I'm not worried. If you see, it's not going to go all the way up. Now you can do one or you can do two pipe cleaners. I know on this one here, I ended up doing two because, like I said, I didn't have this paper underneath it because it would have took up my whole thing. So I didn't have no place, or it just looked funny. So I ended up putting two on this one. But this one here, the first one that I did, it had the paper, so I was able to only put one. So I guess, you know, because I made my rosette a little bit bigger this time for this one, it'll look really good. So I'm really happy with this. And then these are great too for packages. I mean, I went 3.5. You could have gone 3 if you wanted it a little bit smaller, but I went with this. Now I'm going to use hot glue again, and I'm going to start, I'm hoping you could see, I'm going to start right here. I'm going to put just a dab of glue first. Well, actually, I didn't even want it to go up that far, but that's okay. It'll dry, and I'll have a bow hiding it, because it's not going to go all the way to the top, remember? You could attach And now what we're going to do is we're going to take, I have a piece of twine. No, oh, no, that's not it. Well, I'm not sure what I do with it. So we'll just use this red. Give it a little color, I guess. And you're going to go through on your little flosser there, or whatever thing you want to put through. These dental flossers, I love them. And then we're just going to add and tie a little knot here. Like so. Maybe like so. Okay. We're going to tie the little knot. And then I'll cut that off. Alright, and now what I want to do, right where that knot, so that it doesn't move when you're hanging it or whatever. And just kind of lay it down, get all your cobwebs out. And I don't know, but it might be fun because mine is open more in the top and it has this little opening there. I wonder if you... My only thing is that when they lay it down, but you could probably put some of that sprinkle snow in there. I didn't figure out, maybe somebody else will, and you could tell me an idea, but of how to close that off. Because I thought, wouldn't that be cool with sprinkle snow down in there? Kind of like make it a little sprinkle snow globe. Anyways, and I went ahead and pre-made the bow because the bow is, you know, kind of like a difficult thing at times. And so I kind of went ahead and pre-made the bow. And then I'm just going to hot glue this. A good dab of glue right there. Get rid of my stringies. And I'm just going to attach this to the top. So it looks like that. Hold it for a couple seconds so it'll adhere. And then voila, that is the bow. And this is what it looks like. So this is the bigger one. This is, like I said, the real big one. The I think I like this one for size too. I like the 2.5 inch width. I just should have cut another piece, maybe the exact same size as this, to put down so that it would be really cool. And then I really like this one too. I like the fatness of the globe because this is a fatter globe. If you could see, I'll turn them, see the difference in the globes. So those are my little ornaments, or you could put them on a gift for a gift tag. But I think they're absolutely gorgeous and fun. This one to me maybe hanging, so I don't hang things this big on my tree, but to hang someplace around your house or home someplace would be cool. But that's just my preference. Some people like a lot of big things. And then on the back, if you're going to use it as a gift tag, put a thing here. I know on the back of this one that I had on my tree, I put, it was made by me, and I put the year. So that is it, everybody. I hope you enjoyed it. I'm glad that I had responses that wanted me to do the video. And if you haven't had a chance, or if you don't know, go to maymaymadeit.com, I think is called, and you know, check out her video on how she did it, and she did it with the 2 globes separated apart. So it's pretty cool. So thanks, everybody. Bye-bye.